What's everyone up to these days? The crypto channel is glad you're back, no matter where you are in the world. Have a great Wednesday. As we all know, today is a very happy day because Bitcoin has officially retested not only its all-time high, but also hit a new all-time high. This is very exciting and helps us figure out where this market is going. Once we look at all of them together, we can see that cryptocurrencies are doing well. For example, the price of XRP has gone up by about 1.3%, while the value of Bitcoin has gone down a bit and is now around $1.50 per cent. On the other hand, the 24-hour trade volume has gone up compared to yesterday and is now worth about $3 billion, 0 cents. Before we go any further, I want to make it very clear that nothing on this show is meant to be taken as financial advice. Before you invest any money in cryptocurrency, you should always do your own research. As with any other investment, you should do your research before making a decision. The Texas House of Representatives has officially approved Senate Law 21, which is a strategic Bitcoin reserve law. This is not something to be taken lightly. There was just some really big news. And since we're talking about big news, we'll go over it a little more. As you can see, Bitcoin is now worth more than a kilogram of gold. The price of Bitcoin has dropped since its all-time high of $19,000, 0 cents. But this is still a lot of money compared to the value of a kilogram of gold, which is $106,000, 0 cents right now. Bitcoin's progress is very interesting, and it shows how far. It's amazing how much this asset class has grown in the last few years. When Bitcoin first came out, it was compared to gold and given the nickname digital gold. Now we're right up there with gold, and today is a really important day for the cryptocurrency market as a whole, which I know a lot of people don't understand because they're more interested in the prices of XRP and other cryptocurrencies. But if you know how this market usually moves, you know that today is good news for the whole cryptocurrency market, not just Bitcoin. It's a big day of conclusion for the last 60 minutes with positions totaling, as expected, $9,959,000,000, 0 cents worth of positions have been closed. This is because when Bitcoin hits an all-time high, there will be a rush of holdings that are too leveraged. This is why we had a temporary gain of 109,000 from our previous all-time high. So you could say that resistance did work as planned. As things heat up, there is an increase in the number of long positions to shake out these holdings that have been held for too long. I think this is where market makers and whales come in. The situation's exactly that right now. If this is your first time trading in cryptocurrencies, I strongly advise that you do not use any websites that offer you the chance to borrow money. I have spent a lot of time talking about this topic on my show since the beginning because you run the risk of losing all of your money. I do not think that new traders should even think about using leveraged trading platforms. There is a lot of pressure on this market. It's true that the price of Bitcoin has reached a new all-time high of 109,000. For now, let's take a look at this, but we'll keep talking about that subject tomorrow. Volatility will either share or the first exchange-traded fund ETF for XRP futures will be launched with the ticker symbol XRPI. This is not a spot exchange-traded fund ETF. It's more about the long-term future. However, this is a big day for the local token of XRP. According to the 21 share report, the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, took too long to file for some digital assets, and XRP was one of them. They chose to delay the filing, but they're not denying that it will happen. Also, I think that the new Securities and Exchange Commission, which will be led by Paul Atkins, will allow a wide range of exchange-rated funds, ETFs. Some people think that it won't happen until next week or tomorrow, but I think it will happen. A lot of big money is coming in, even if you don't believe it. If people who don't believe that a lot of money is coming in should look more closely at what's going on behind the scenes. The over-the-counter market is where most of the money is made, but that's never taken into account. If you look at the data on the blockchain, you can see that big banks are moving a lot of XRP and other digital assets. This makes me think that trade might be happening over the counter, and that, if you can believe it, a lot of money is already being saved up by those people. They will be well prepared for the next bull run in alternative cryptocurrencies. That's all that needs to be said about it. Hey there, Mr. Man said something really cool that I thought you might find interesting. I'm sure I'm not the only one who watches Brazil and Ripple. On June 16th, 2025, automatic payments will be added to the PIC system. This payment system is much faster. The BBRL stablecoin uses the XRP system, so it's important to remember that. The interaction between BBRL and XRP on the XRP record is at the This interaction happens whenever a currency crosses the XRP, no matter what kind of money is being sent. It's at the heart of how quickly value is moved in this tokenized system. According to the plan, XRP will be an important part of every transaction. If you think of XRP as the rail bed under the tokenized train cars, then BBRL could stand for the goods and XRP could stand for the infrastructure. XRP is the basis of all transactions, even the ones that don't seem to be happening. On a final note, I find this point of view very interesting. Finally, there was a vote of 61-31 in favor of the Genius Act. We will also talk about how to make changes now. That is really, really big news. But before we talk about that, let's talk about the current state of the prices. Obviously, there's more control now, 64.1%. If anyone is surprised by this, we'd like to know why. Right now, it looks like Bitcoin will reach a new all-time high. BTC is receiving more and more money every day. This has been happening for a few days. If you look at XRP right now, you can see that it is basically unable to move out of the 38-10% area. There is no doubt that most of those individuals who have invested in XRP are aware of how far it has come, which is very reassuring. It is inevitable that some people will spread false information about why the price of XRP is not going up. If you are excited about X because of the trend of Bitcoin, you should know that if they want to know why XRP is being held, then they need to have a good understanding of how the market works. The way things look right now is really impressive. We are leaving a very unstable position. There have been times in the last few months when XRP has maintained its position and has essentially had this 38-point level help in its grasp. It's possible to find out for yourself that this tendency to build up will be very helpful to XRP when we finally see that rise. Haters will not be able to say a word after seeing it.